So we got your God, how to do that? Hyundai. It's an i20, but they're all pretty much the same. Right, so I've done my fault diagnosis. Right, I've gone straight for the here to see whether it's a block jet. I've used a pin or something just to see whether if I give that a fiddle, something comes out. Easiest first fix, easiest try. There's a little tiny hole in there. Sometimes it gets blocked up. Hey, right, so anyways, I've done my wiggling pins and I thought that it might actually be a blockage in the jet, so I've just wazzled that off. If you need to get the jet off for some reason, as I said, they normally clean themselves without a pin. So I just jemmed a screwdriver in here and it come out. It did break a bit of the clippage, but it's gone back in all right now. Right, so that's my first problem. Still not getting water. My pump's making a load of noise, sounding like it's gonna pump water, but it's like it's not doing it. Right, so if you come to the engine bay and then over on this corner, this is the next way I had a look. Right, so I ripped that apart, right, to check that it's not a blockage between this pipe here and this pipe, this washer jet. So just to, you know, the fault tracing is about going backwards from where you want to the next place. Right, so I've undone that, same thing, noisy motor, no juice coming out. This is washer jet. Yeah, right. So the washer jet is, you'll have to see my things. I've filtered my water, putting it back in. So yeah, your washer jet's here. Right, well, unfortunately, this is your engine bay. You ain't getting in there to swap the pump out or even have a look at it. So, right, this is what you gotta do. This is a bit of an eye-opener for us all. Right, under here, you've got to take the wheel off, jack it up. Right, I don't know how we're going to see in here. I'll have to try and get some light in. But here we, I've got the light on, here we go. Right, so in here, that is the culprit in question, right? Right, so it's not as easy. There's lots of these, where's my focus there? Lots of these little plasticky clips, right? You're supposed to unscrew them. Well, I think you're supposed to actually take the screw out, but I've unscrewed them and they just sort of kind of pull out after you've done them about this much there, you know what I mean? It's about 10 mil, I suppose, something like that. You know what I mean? You've wound it out a bit, and then that releases it's just like a raw plug basically on the back, and that's the pokey thing. Unfortunately, there's quite a few of them to find. How many have I taken off? And so this is the actual plastic mudguard type thing, but you've got to get that off to be able to get in there. Right, next, there's a little wire and a harness here going in a clip just here. I'd suggest removing, I've not put that one back in, removing these to give some slack to the motor. Right, this is the problem, I guess. So, first of all, I took the outlets out of here, removed them, right, and then I did both sides just to check that both sides was actually working, right, and I've given it a squirt, nothing, right, so there's no actually more clips, so these are removed, and I've given it a squirt, no juice, right, so it's got to be this, right, so the plan is you just give it a big yank, right, there's not a bolt in it and anything, it's just a little bit of brute force. I did hear a bit of a click, but there's a plasticky bit round the back. Did sound a bit like breaking plastic, but she's wiggled herself back in there right again. Yeah, so that was the problem. So there's either two ways to go about all this. I know, it's taken me an hour to do all this, if not longer. But we're getting somewhere now, and I've actually fixed the fault. Right, so I thought that the pump was actually going to be faulty, and I bought myself a replacement one. Yeah, you'll have to turn around for a minute, but I need to put the lights back on in the garage. Yeah, so that was the problem. Should I turn around? So that was the problem. Yeah, I'm just trying to investigate the rear washer now. Yeah, so yes, I'm in a compound garage with the lighting, so I'm gonna have to put the sensor back on and off. You know, same old things. So yeah, unfortunately, I've lost a little bit of washer fluid. But I did try to recycle it in a bucket, and I did recycle and put it through the sieve and back through the system. Right, so I've actually, we're back to here, yeah. So this is the thing. So yeah, as I said, remove this top bit, and then that'll give you slack to the cable, and then when you're yanking it off, you're not doing it. I removed both of the washer fluids, but you could do the same with the clip. Right, and I've removed this. I've already bought myself a replacement one, just in case, you know what I mean? So I'm actually ready. These are pretty box standard for all makes and models. It's it's just a washer thing. It's just a water pump. Yeah, these can go faulty, but as it was making so much noise, I thought, well, let's just, well, I had to remove it anyway. So I took it out, and I found the end of it has got a gauze on it, and it just clogs right up. Right, we'll have a look in the bucket. So this is all the cloggy bits what I've got stuck in my pump. Right, I know it's a dirty bucket, but you can see the squishy brown sludge. It's just a bit of old stale water. But the gauze has stopped that going through the system. Which, yeah, which is good, I suppose, in a way. Right, we're coming back to the... Unfortunately, the rear washer doesn't work either. So the rear washer outlet's up here somewhere in amongst, there's a little tiny hole in the light, right? So same thing again, use the pin, trace it back. Right, we come to this hole here, right? Well, it's all connected and everything, but in here, right, you got it, there's this bit here, this is a grommet, and that goes back in that hole there, yeah? Right. So, unfortunately, they've put, I don't know quite why they've put, but they put this little connector valve, but they've used a valve. I can't really show you, but this valve, it's not. It doesn't work. It's got something inside of it, but it's like as I said, it's a valve. It's a bit over advanced for it's to do with. I think it's just a one-way valve. Yeah, so don't know quite what to say. So the plan is, I'm just gonna. I'm gonna drill it out, I think. And then we'll see what happens. But as it goes, I'll have a cheapy little white one here. And this one's like I think we can. Oh God, I've showed my number plate anymore. It's got a hole all the way through. So yeah. So basically, this bit here. So it's the back of the car. Yeah, I'm trying to get my number plate here. I suppose sensible. So yeah, this is the back of your car, and it's in the top bit of your hood thing, of your hatchbacky thing. Right, so I'm just going to replace that with that, and then hopefully we're all up and running again. But as I said, I've just done a test, and I'm getting water out of the right pipe, which is this one. And yeah, as I said, I've followed everything through. So that's back and front washers sorted on the Hyundai, what is it? i20. Yeah, so I would say it's not been the simplest fix. if you're not really up for doing it and crawling around on your knees, jacking your car up, taking your wheel off, and then fanning around with all this, yeah, just take it to a garage. I'm sure they'll charge you about, they've got to charge you an hour, and they, so that's £30 an hour. I didn't actually use any parts, so maybe if it's a good garage, they will just charge you for labour. But as I said, that pump could have been faulty. I've seen other YouTubers reporting on this, but yeah, I thought I'd share mine. Okay, right. Well, let's hope that's a fix, and back to filling her up and happy motoring. Right, take care, guys. Bye.